Yo, 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 what's happening, people? Okay, we are live right now, live from the village right now. It is 8:37 in the PM right now. It is the 3rd of October, 2022 right now. It is Monday, and that is movie night right now. We're about to watch Pet Sematary right now. I'm in London, England right now. Where you at, fam? Where you at, Wagwan people? Alan Evans in the house. How's it going today? It is going okay. It is going okay. Let me switch over to this screen so I can show my face just a little bit. But yeah, going okay. Big up man like Alan Evans coming through. First in today's live stream chat. Appreciate you coming through. How's your day going? How's your day been? Appreciate you joining this live stream. But yeah, no, man's been doing okay still. What I've been doing today, did a little shopping earlier. What else? I finished watching the Jeffrey Dahmer series, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. I finished watching that. Also watched Rogue One. There's a Star Wars story, which is pretty cool. Seen that. I think I've seen it once before, maybe twice before. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure I've seen it twice before, but yeah, watched it again today. And then I just watched a movie just now called Intergalactic. It's on Netflix, and it was okay. I mean, it's a love story, which is fine, but it did kind of feel like I did kind of feel a bit tricked into watching it, because I swear when I was reading the blurb, it sounded like it was more of a sci-fi fantasy type movie, you know, with like sort of sci-fi elements and, you know, time traveling, space. I don't know why I got that impression. I don't know. Maybe I misread it. Maybe I just can't read. Maybe I just read what I wanted to read. I don't know. But I got the impression it was that kind of movie, and it really isn't. And it's got some cool visuals. I think for the animation they did really some cool stuff with the animation. But end of the day, it's a love story, which, you know, fine. I ain't got a problem with love stories. I guess as far as love stories goes, it's an okay love story. But yeah, it's a love story. So it's like, oh, jeez, am I watching this? It was only an hour and a half, so not too bad. But yeah, just finished doing Iron Maiden reaction just before joining the stream. Talk about good timing indeed. How you liking Iron Maiden? I haven't listened to much Iron Maiden over the years. I guess I've listened to Iron Maiden. I guess I've listened to like their albums and stuff. But I guess what I'm really trying to say is that I haven't really listened to them enough to be that familiar with their work. So I mean, Iron Man, of course, is like one of the most popular songs. What up, Sam? Sam's in his house. You know, Iron Man's one of their most popular songs, and you know, would have heard a few others as well. But I guess as much as I've heard a lot of their stuff, I haven't really listened to them that intently to be like, wait a minute, what am I thinking of? Iron Maiden? Oh, no, idiot. Never mind. Sorry, I'm confused myself. That was Black Sabbath with Iron Man. Black Sabbath with Iron Man. Iron Maiden did not do. Sorry, I'm confusing. I got my heavy metal bands mixed up. My bad. Never mind. Never mind. I just mixed up stuff. But yeah, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden. I've listened to them both, but I guess in the end, not enough to be that familiar. Like if you told me a song, I couldn't just name a song apart from Iron Man. That's pretty much it. But yeah. But yeah, it is Pet Sematary today. If you you know, I thought Pet Sematary was on Netflix. I don't know if they just took it off their services or whatever, but I'm pretty sure Pet Sematary was on Netflix. Like I felt like when I searched it, it was on Netflix. And when I just searched it just now, it's not on Netflix anymore. So I don't know if it was recently taken off or whether I just completely imagined it was on Netflix. But it's not on Netflix right now. It is on Paramount Plus if you have Paramount Plus. But if not, then we can still come along and have some fun. What up, Frozen G? Frozen G, the place to be. How you doing, sir? How's your day going? How's your day been? I liked the movie. Are you talking about Pet Sematary or are you talking about another movie, Frozen Gamer? It was okay, so I didn't just imagine it then. It was on Netflix. It must have just been taken off. I see. So I was like, I was looking for it just now, just before we started, and I was like, where's this movie? I'm pretty sure it's here, but yeah, they've taken it off Netflix. Okay, but I'm not going crazy. That's the main thing that's the main thing to note for now. I'm not going crazy. It was on Netflix. It just isn't right now. It is on Paramount Plus. I happen to have Paramount Plus at the moment, so I could check it on that. But I mean, Paramount Plus is okay, to be honest. Like, I feel like it's a pretty decent service as far as the, like the big boys are like, Netflix and Amazon and Disney Plus, right? Outside of those, outside of the, let's say the smaller streaming services, Paramount Plus has probably got the biggest potential to compete with Netflix and Amazon and that sort of thing. I think they've got the biggest potential. That being said, I mean, I don't know if it's a service that's worth keeping all the time. You know what I mean? Like Netflix, you could just have and just let it run. And even if you don't watch it as much 1 month, it's not that big a deal. Same with Disney Plus. You could just have it and let it run. And you might not watch it as much 1 month. It's no big deal. Amazon as well. Maybe you have it and maybe you don't watch it as much 1 month. It's not that big a deal. But I feel like with Paramount Plus, as cool as it is, and it definitely got a lot of cool stuff on there. I feel like once you get to the point where you're not watching it as much, you probably want to take it off. Maybe have it for a month or two. Maybe have it for a month or two and then, let it go, and then maybe get it back in a little while when they got some more stuff on it, and then, again, keep it for a month or two, take it off, then get it back, that sort of thing. But so yeah, Paramount Plus is cool, but I don't know if it's that cool. I did a Coolio Gangsters Paradise reaction for my second channel today. Okay. Yeah, I'm alright, I guess. Yeah, Paramount needs to update regular. It's a shame. It's the same stuff. It's the same stuff all the time. Yeah, I'm good. Apart from having a video I reacted to earlier getting blocked. What, the Gangsters Paradise video? Or the Iron Maiden video. Yeah, I mean, Paramount is still relatively new, I think, right? I mean, I know they are, I mean, they just put up a series called American Gigolo, which I have not watched. I think that's just started, American Gigolo. And they're still running Beavis and Butthead, the Mike Judge Beavis and Butthead, so that's still on. So they are getting stuff. They are putting up stuff. I guess it comes down to, are they putting up stuff that you are interested in, right? And American Gigolo looks okay. I don't know if I'm going to bother with it, though. Like, I mean, Beavis and Butthead I like, and I am watching that. I think there's maybe like two or three episodes to go with Beavis and Butthead, and then it's done. And then at that point, I'm probably just going to cancel it. In fact, my subscription for Paramount Plus actually runs out at the end of this month. So if the last episode of Beavis and Butthead is before the end of this month, then yeah, it's just running out. I think if the last episode is sometime afterwards, then but I'm in trouble. But yeah, I mean, I guess yeah, it comes down to, are they putting up stuff that you're interested in? And okay, well, I guess they're not. I guess they're not when it comes down to it. They're probably not. Yeah, I'm good. Apart from, well, yeah. Sorry, I just read that already. My bad. Oh, yeah, man. But how's y'all doing? I did get the Jeffrey Dahmer thing watched. Okay, you can please say. Yeah, I just finished watching that today, actually. Do you have any thoughts you'd like to share on that, Ms. Barbie? As a serial killer show watching aficionado. I'm trying to think, how would you say that? Like, because a serial killer show aficionado, would that be right? Somebody who watches a lot of serial killer shows. How would you? What was your thoughts on that? Because I have a few thoughts on that show, and just around the show as well. But if you don't mind, I'd like to hear some of your thoughts, if you're okay to share them. Before we get into pets, before we watch a horror movie, let's talk about a horrible person. Before we watch, I don't know what Pet Sematary is about. I know it's an old film. I've not seen it before. I guess it's something to do with pets. I think it's something to do with like a pet comes back to life, or like somebody gets murdered and comes back as a pet. Don't spoil it if you already know, haven't seen it, but I think it's something to do with that. What up, Brax? But yeah, I have a few thoughts on that show. I mean, I would say, I know like Netflix didn't contact the families of the victims, and I think that's pretty lame. I would say I think that's pretty lame. I feel like they definitely should have contacted them. I mean, I suppose from a legal standpoint, they probably don't have to ask for permission. I'd assume that's the case. But yeah, they should have at least contacted them, especially when part of the show, there's like an episode where they're talking about, you know, there was supposed to be a movie being made, but you know, the family's supposed to get this amount and the book rights. They were talking about all this stuff in the show, and it's like, so this happened back in the day, and at no point anybody thought maybe we should contact them about this particular show. Like that, yo, come on. Unpopular opinion, I don't think it lives up to the hype. The guy who plays him did an amazing job. However, I feel it's watered down and boring in parts. What, did you want to see more gruesome blood? Yeah, I mean, they don't show a lot of the killing. I think most of it is cut out. You don't really see a lot of the killing. And to be honest, I thought that was a good move, actually. I actually thought that was a good move. Because again, we are talking about like real people, you know, and there's always that danger of glorifying something inadvertently. So I thought like by not showing it, or at least not showing it in that kind of detail, I personally thought that was a good move. Oh, excuse me. Hey. Excuse my civil play. But yeah, I mean, as a show, I felt like the storytelling aspect of it was fine. It did kind of jump around a bit. Thank you. It did kind of jump around a bit, going back and forth, and it wasn't always clear as to which time frame they're in between, like, you know, 1970s or 1990s. I mean, a lot of the time they were clear about which year it was, but other times it wasn't always super clear that they were going back in time, and it did feel like it was jumping around a bit. So I was kind of like, oh wait, this is before that, oh this is after that, and then it shows bits that happened later and it goes back to it. So they get a little confused as to what time they're in. But aside from that, for the storytelling itself was fine. But that dude was a sicko though. Like, I mean, he did some madness, you know, and but what was interesting to me though is when it gets to the parts about forgiveness and him finding religion and seeking forgiveness and that sort of thing, and that's where I kind of thought it got interested on more of a level of how do we think about forgiveness, and can someone like that be forgiven, you know, someone who did those, you know, tortured people and, you know, killed people and ate some of them, you know, can that be forgiven? Is that a forgivable thing? Because they talk about forgiveness in the show, like one of the priests, yo, what up, Jakes? One of the it was a priest, talks about forgiveness as all you had to do was, you know, accept, you know, Jesus as your Lord and Savior, and he talks about it like that's all you got to do. And it's like, okay, so you can do all these cruel, evil things, and as long as you do that one good thing, that one thing, that's it? Is that really it? Are we really sending that message out? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not for me to decide who gets forgiven or not. I know, I ain't trying to say that, but is that really what we want to, is that really the message we want to give out there? You could just do anything, and just all you gotta do is be like, yep, I accept Jesus my Lord and Savior, and that's it. That's it, really? I don't know, man. I don't know. Another thing I don't get is why people are more sensitive about Dharma. We have Bundy, John Wayne Gacy. They are Well, that's it. People are upset about that. I don't get it. Casey killed kids. Are people more upset about it? Oh, I mean, are they? I don't think I've seen that. But it might be just because it's in the news now, you know, because there's a new show about it. You know, anytime there's a show, there's always gonna be buzz about it. So it could be something. I don't know. People are fickle. But yeah, this show got a. I think. Well, from what I've understood anyway, and perhaps there's more to it than what I've. In fact, I'm sure there's more to it than I've understood. But from what I've understood, a lot of the backlash that this show got was from the fact that they didn't contact the families before making a show. And yeah, I feel like they really should have done that. They really should have done that. Like, yeah, maybe legally they don't have to, but it would have been a courtesy to let them know what was going on. But aside from that, I feel like the show itself does what a lot of these types of shows does, which is it exposes some uncomfortable truths. You know, it talks about what happened. It talks about how it went down. You know, how he managed to do it for so long, and you know the fact that those two police guys. I mean, that was actually. There's a video on YouTube by Watch Mojo where they talk about some of the things that were true and some of the things that were not true, right, in the show. And the show itself seems to be pretty accurate to what happened for the most part, including a part where those two cops, you know, took that boy back into the apartment. The young boy, Konorak, you know, the 14-year-old boy, where he's said, "Oh yeah, he's my 19-year-old boyfriend." Is like, come on, that kid was not 14. I mean, the actor that played him was older. I get that. I'm not talking about that. But there's no way you could, if you see someone who's 14, there's no way that guy looks like they're 19 or that kind of age. There's no way a 14-year-old kid looks 19. And especially when the dude was clearly drunk, you know, clearly intoxicated with something. At the very least, it should have been like, yeah, maybe we need to get into a hospital or something. You know what I mean? The cops... the fact that they just took him back to the apartment, at the very least, they could have been like, you know what, this guy's clearly intoxicated. Let's get him to a safe place. They could have done that much at least. But they took him right back to the apartment and then told the lady, that was a real call. You know, I'm Glenda Cleveland. That was a real phone call when she was like, I was trying to ask about this boy, and they're like, oh yeah, he's fine. We took care of it. It's fine. We took care of it. So yeah, it was that was oof. But yeah, uncomfortable truths. I'm thinking the Gen Z might try to cancel Eminem for mentioning Jeffrey Dahmer in his song now because of this Netflix show. Yeah, well, he's been cancelled plenty of times already, so yeah, but it's all I'm saying, people really in their feelings over Dahmer all of a sudden. Yeah, I guess that's just to do with the show. You know, the show's new, right? So it's gonna regenerate renewed interest, and there's always gonna be people who maybe didn't know about him before. I knew of him in terms of I knew the name, but I didn't know much about what exactly he did. So a lot of that is new to me. So yeah, I think anytime you have a show like this, it's gonna generate renewed interest in, you know, who he was and what he did and that sort of thing. So, I haven't seen it. She ain't interested. It's a hard watch. I mean, I would say it's definitely a hard watch. I wouldn't say it's a must watch, but it's a hard watch. If you watch serial killer stuff, all the details in the show we knew anyway. You didn't reveal anything new. Well, there probably isn't much that you can do. I mean, it's like if it's already happened, right? So it's kind of like, yeah, if you read about stuff and you watch a lot of these things, then you're gonna know all about that sort of thing already. Or anyway, there's not really much else you can add, I guess. It's just like, unless you're just gonna make stuff up, you know what I mean? Unless you're just gonna make stuff up, which, I mean, to be fair, they did kind of. They made, apparently, some stuff, the bits that were false, according to the Watch Mojo thing anyway, was some of the minor details, like the fact that Glenda of Cleveland didn't actually live next door to him. She lived in a different building, but she was the one that was calling the police, so that much is true. And that bit where he gives the sandwich, there was actually somebody else that he offered a sandwich to, and they don't say whether, I mean, apparently it was a Pam Bass, that was it. Pam Bass is the one that he offered the sandwich to, and they don't say whether she ate it or not in the Watch Mojo thing, but maybe she did. I guess, I don't know, you might know, but yeah, most of it was pretty accurate to what happened, but yeah, a few of the details were embellished for the dramatization of it. The kid was clearly bleeding from his skull also. Oh, the Conrad kid. Yeah, it's like, there's no... Man, like, at the very least, you could have been like, yo, this kid needs to go to a hospital or something. But they just took him back to, and they didn't even check no ID. They didn't ask him for no ID or nothing. It was just hit on his say-so. Oh yeah, my 19-year-old boyfriend, he just had a little bit too much to drink. So, and I think about the story he told as well. He's just a little drunk. He asked me to get him more alcohol, so I went to get him more alcohol. I was like, I was like, if someone is already sick and drunk and you go to get them more alcohol, it's like, that's a red flag already right there. That's already a red flag right there, but mate. I think a movie's going to be made about Richard Ramirez. That's a name I do not know. I'm guessing that's another serial killer, though. I've seen some people be upset over it if it was racially motivated. I'm like, right, that's the worst part he did. I mean, that's the kind of things, like, most of his victims were black men. Was it racially motivated? Was it not racially? I mean, according to what he says in the show, he just talks about he just lived in a place that was cheap, and he went for guys he thought were good looking. You know, I mean, does it matter though? Like, I mean, does it make it better or worse if it was racially motivated or not? Like, does it make that is what he did any better or worse? He still killed people. He still preyed on people. You know, he still ate some of them. Like, racially motivated or not is not going to change what he did or make it any better or any worse. It's like, oh yeah, this serial killer existed. He's a real bad dude, but at least he wasn't racist. You know, it's like, come on, man. Whether it was racially motivated or not, just seems like such an irrelevant point. You know, like it's like it either was or it wasn't. We'll probably never know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's this. Did you see the scene when I'm exposed at the Milwaukee State Fair? I felt bad laughing at that scene. That was probably like that was probably the tamest thing he did. That was probably, out of all the things he did, that was probably the tamest. That's probably the one thing you could be like, sometimes you just feel the urge. That's the one thing where you're like, yeah, sometimes you just feel the urge. Jerk off in public. Maybe close the door behind you, though. The grand scheme of his crimes, race of his victims, really? His first victims was white guy, 78, 79. The rest was mostly black and a couple of Asians. He had a huge attraction and infestation with black guys in particular. Richmond is the Night Stalker. Okay. I still don't know what that is, but okay. Because that means he stalks people at night. I guess that means he stalks people at night. Here's what was interesting though. I mean, I don't know if this means anything. It probably doesn't. but just something that was mentioned in the show and something that I noticed as well. So his first victim was in 1978, which was the year that John Wayne Gacy was caught and put in prison. And then the year that John Wayne Gacy was executed, or the day actually that he was executed, was the same day that Dharma was baptized. That bit was mentioned in the show. So yeah, there's a interesting connection between him and Wayne Gacy. If that means anything, or maybe it just means nothing, or maybe it's just a coincidence. But yeah. Was he sick? Was he just evil? Maybe both. Does it matter? You know? Was it the environment? Was it just him? Was it the way he was raised? I mean, it's going to be a lot of questions. Well, there are a lot of questions. I think in the end, you never really... I don't think there's ever going to be just one answer to it all. You know, when it comes down to it. I feel like there's not going to be just one answer. But I think in the end, the only thing you can do is, you know, be kind to people. It never hurts to be kind to people. Being kind never turned no one into a serial killer at the very least. So there's that much. The most evil out of the serial killer. The dude was evil. The Zodiac killer. Oh, that was the one they... Is that John Wayne Gacy was the one they based that on, wasn't it? Was it DC guy? The guy in the DC comics that was based on that. I'm seeing the Zodiac killer. I'm just kind of remembering now. I was kind of remembering. Yeah. I ain't know too much about the serial killers. I mean, obviously, I just know some of their names, but I don't know a lot about what they did. But yeah, Wayne Gacy, he dressed up as a clown. He killed like some 30-something people, like 33 people. I mean, when it comes down to it, I'll say like, who's the worst? I mean, I don't. It's one of these things where I'm kind of like, I'm not sure that matters either. You know, because when you're talking about people who go in these, whether they're killing sprees or serial killing, or whether they're killing men, women, children, you know, rapes, cannibalism, all these sorts of things, like, you can get into the details of, is one worse than the other? Maybe, maybe not. But in the end of the day, they all done some mad, terrible, horrific, you know what I mean? It's like, is one worse? Maybe. But they all still did some horrific things, you know? I think Charles Manson was clearly the most manipulative serial killer. Charles Manson, he's the one he had a cult, wasn't it? Like, he had a cult. And I can't remember exactly what he did, but I think he had a cult, or some kind of cult that he was a leader of. No, I'm all sick. He did what he did was evil, no question, but I think it's possible things could have been different for him if his upbringing was stable. Yes, the Manson family. Yeah. Could have been different. That's the thing, it's like, you know, there's that bit where they talked about assessing his brain to try and find out. I mean, they destroyed the brain, at least according to the show, they destroyed the brain. I'd assume that bit is true as well. Could they have found something? Maybe, maybe not. You know, I mean, there's this age-old question about how much of who we are is nurture versus nature, right? And as far as I'm aware, there's no real way of proving which one is which, you know? I mean, there's things that you can say are definitely down to your environment, right? And because they have a kind of a clear correlation to something that happened and then how you changed afterwards. But outside of those sort of clear things, how much of us is just things the way we're born? You know, the way we're born versus or are we? Because there's some people who believe that everything we are is 100% down to our environment, you know, how we were raised, all our experiences, interactions, blah blah blah, blah, all that sort of stuff. Everything we go through in our life is what shapes who you are. And when you're born, you're a blank slate. It's the blank slate when you're born, and then who you become, your personality, and good, bad, everything else is down to the way you're raised, the people you're around, the things that happen to you, all your experiences. That determines, that is 100% of your personality. Then that's called the word for it is, it's a tabula rasa, these blank slates. And then the other theory is called innatism, where it's believed that you are indeed born with certain traits, and whether that's you know, personality traits or you know, things that you like, you know, stuff like that. People believe that these are things that you're born with. And yeah, as far as I'm aware, as far as I know, neither are proven, but there are interesting theories as to which one is which. Personally, I will say that I believe that it is possible to be born with certain traits. I think it's possible. I don't necessarily think that is what happens all the time, though. I think it's just one of these things that some people are born with. It's like, for example, when you see these people who are like 4 years old, 3-4 years old, and they're already a master at the piano. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like things like that, you're born with something that when you sit at the piano, everything just clicks. Because to get to the level that they're playing at 3-4 years old, most people don't get to that level in 10-15 years. You know what I mean? But they're doing it at 3-4 years old after playing on the piano for a few months. So I feel like there are certain things that you can be born with that just click in certain situations. And maybe we're all born with certain things, but we don't always get to do the thing that we just click with. You know, sometimes you're good at something and you don't necessarily know why you're good at it. Maybe that's part of it. But maybe you never get to do the thing. You never have the opportunity to do the thing that just clicks with you. And as such, you just kind of go through life with your experiences and letting that shape you and learning this and learning that. So I don't know. I feel like there's a combination of the two. But yeah, it's not something I can prove. It's just just a theory. Just my amateur theory. Charles Manson didn't actually kill anyone. Just got, obviously, didn't he kill the actress though? I heard that he killed. I've read somewhere. I heard somewhere that he killed an actress, or did he just get someone to kill the actress as well? Or maybe I heard wrong. Helter Skelter, Sharon Tate, Abigail Folger, Bianca couples murders in 1969, etc. Dealing with Charles Manson. Manson was behind Sharon Tate. That Sharon Tate was an actress, yeah. Sharon Tate was married to Roman Polanski. Well, he wasn't exactly a. Well, I'm not sure he comes under the good dude category either, but that's a whole nother thing. Sociopaths and psychopaths, psychopaths are born that way. Sociopaths are created. He was trying to put it on the Black Panthers, trying to kick off a race war. I say. Cheeky bastard. Yeah, apology. Precocious talent. He himself never participated in the killings though, but still have organized them. Yeah, it was the young actress Sharon Tate. No, Charles never killed anyone. Dude was lazy. Lazy or just really smart? Oh well. He's in prison. Was he in prison? Oh no, they executed him, didn't they? Didn't he get executed? I know he was in prison for a long time, but I think he got executed, right? I'm sure I heard, I don't know. I feel like I'm hearing things in places. And maybe I'm just imagining that I'm hearing things. But yeah, we'll start the movie in a little bit, by the way. We're not just going to talk about serial killers all day. We're all going to watch a movie in a moment. Let me just check something real quick. I'm pretty sure I heard Charles Manson got executed. Or, again, I could be just making that up. I could be just imagining that I heard that and it never actually happened. Okay, yeah, 2017. 19th November 2017. She was 9 months pregnant at the time. She was gonna have a son. She should have been grandma by now. Oof. She was 26. He finally died in prison and was married. Okay, he wasn't executed. He just died. Okay. There is a movie about Sharon Tate murders called The Hunting of Sharon Tate. That was finally died in 2017, and no one came to claim his ass. Well, I mean, who would? But Dahmer had his fans. I'm sure Manson had his fans as well. Or maybe all his fans are dead. I don't know. All right. So today's movie is Pet Sematary. We talked about serial killers. Now we're going to talk about animal killers, I guess. But Pet Sematary is on Paramount Plus if you have Paramount Plus, or it might be on. It's not on the British Netflix. It might be on the American Netflix. I don't know, maybe. But if you have it, get it on Zero. If you haven't already, get it on Zero. Start the movie in a moment. If you have it on DVD, Blu-ray, get it ready on Zero. If not, it's cool. We'll still have some fun. But yeah, I'll start the movie in just a minute or so. But yeah, that was like, I mean, I guess that bit wasn't too surprising about Dahmer having fans and people sending fan mail, but that's just crazy though. Like, I can't even be a fan of. Well, so some people are sending fan mail, sending money. I don't know, man. Like, what kind of relationship are you trying to have though with somebody who does like, ugh. I don't know, man. People are weird. People are weird. All right, let's switch over to this screen. We're going to start the movie. So it's going to go 3, 2, 1, play. All right. So you ready? In 3, 2, 1, play. So, there is a reason why they purposely spell cemetery incorrectly in this movie. I don't know what that reason is, but apparently the reason gets revealed in this film. Yeah, we find serial killers interesting, so we are not much better, I suppose. I think there is always going to be somewhat of a fascination with, I think, is it also the word macabre? Is that the right word to use? But you know, things that you know are wrong or bad, and I feel there's always going to be some kind of fascination that people have with that sort of thing, because it's things that you'll never do. Well, hopefully none of us will ever do, right? And I guess part of our human psyche is to be fascinated by minds that can do such horrible things. Like, what causes that? And I think we all want to know answers. We all want answers in that. What causes that? Well, how does that happen? And maybe part of us wants that easy answer to say, you know, as long as we don't do this, then we can prevent that. When the reality is that it's not that simple. And what causes these things is what causes one person to become a serial killer is going to be massively different than what causes another person to become a serial killer. You know, people's lives are as simple as they are complicated. Pet Sematary. You know, maybe it's part of the reasons why we find the bad guys in movies interesting. You know, especially when they give us like the backstory of how they became a bad guy. There's something about the human psyche that attracts us to dangerous, bad, evil. Hopefully not in a way that will go do it, because nope. But yeah, we do watch it like it's entertainment though. Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I mean, well, I don't know if entertainment is the right word. Well, actually, yeah, maybe it is the right word for some people. maybe somebody is sitting there with popcorn like, oh, this is great. I would say this though. I hope that all the people involved in that show, from the actors to the writers, directors, everybody involved in that Dharma show, I hope they all got therapy. You know, especially Evan Peters, you know, the main actor, because that's like 10 episodes, all about an hour each, and he features heavily in all those episodes. So at this point, he's probably spent more time playing a serial killer than he has playing any other character he's played in his career. Right? So to be in that kind of mindset while playing that role for that long, I'm just saying, I hope that they got therapy. I hope they got taken care of, because you don't need no repeats. And there we go, Folger. No young woman who was the Manson cult victim was the heiress to the Folger's coffee brand fortune. I see. I mean, I haven't heard of that, but okay, I guess that's a lot of money. Hey. But that was close. Me, I'm entertained, fascinated, intrigued, horrified, all at once. Make sure you take some breathers after watching those shows. But yeah, I mean, there could be a lot of things. Wait, this guy's creepy. Yeah, and millions of billions, and I think the Levian's couple would have been in their 90s or 100s by now. That clip in the Dharma show where that bit in the Dharma show when they're showing the families of the victims in court and they were talking, the one where Rita Isbell was speaking, where she goes really mad, shouting, screaming in the courtroom, right? I saw a clip of the real life court case, and that was pretty much spot on, like word for word, or well, maybe not exactly word for word, but near enough to word for word. The mannerisms, the shouting, the everything. Like, I saw a clip, I saw somebody compared it to shots, and they're so similar. So like, and the lady, like Rita Isbell, the real life Rita Isbell, was saying that, you know, when she saw that, if she didn't know any better, she would have thought it was her because it was so close, you know. But yeah, that's gonna be hard though, where you see this thing show up on your Netflix feed, reliving one of the most or probably the most traumatic thing you've been through in your life, just displayed. So yeah, Netflix definitely should have got in contact and said something, let them know. They named their cat Winston Churchill. Getting fixed, you know. They kind of feel for his dad, though. I mean, we talk about the armor, we talk about the victims. Imagine being the parent of a serial killer, your heart would break. Yeah, his dad, I don't know, man. He's like, I kind of felt like, for me with the dad, it was like, it went from, man, imagine having to face that news that your son's a serial killer. I kind of went from that to like, dude, you trying to profit off this? Like, man. But hey, I don't know. I guess it's people grieve differently. Man, that ain't no place to have a picnic. What's going to happen eventually? That bit though when his dad was holding him and just saying like, you know, it's my fault. That was tough though. That bit was tough. It was like saying it's my fault. I should have. I knew something was wrong. I should have pushed more. I should have tried harder. I should have. He's taken all the. Yeah, that was tough. Could you disown your own flesh and blood, though? I mean, that parents' love is like no other. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think not, but doing the right thing what was I going to say? I forgot. Yeah, I feel sometimes doing the right thing is like saying, hey, look, your son did all these horrible things. You have to face up to that, and sometimes the best way to love someone is to let them know that they did wrong and be clear with them that they did wrong. That they did horribly wrong. Over the years and decades, they interviewed the cult members. Some of them are living normal lives. The main one who was interviewed in and out of prison, Susan Atkins, who finally died in 2009. They must have had a tough life after that, though. Don't shilly-shally. There is a conspiracy theory that Charles Manson was connected to the CIA MK Ultra projects. To do with brainwashing, apparently. You know what? That wouldn't even surprise me if it was true. If that were true, I would not be surprised. The way, like, governments do all kinds of mad secret stuff, then when it goes wrong, they deny all involvement. You're on your own. Make up some story. Hey, have you ever watched the drama series Mindhunter on Netflix? I have not. I did see it pop up on my recommended feed today, actually. I think it's an old show, though. I'm pretty sure I've seen that pop up before a while back. But no, I've not watched it. I think I did watch a show called Mindhunters or Mind something. I don't know if it's the same show and Netflix took it over. But I think there was a show on regular TV at one time called Mind something or other. I think I watched like a few episodes of that one time. So if he turned out to be a serial killer, I'm supporting her. I'm too scared not to. help her hide the bodies. Yeah, what happened there? It's worth a watch if you're into serial killers. I enjoyed it immensely. Well, I'm not sure if I'm into serial killers, but yeah, I might see if I could check it out at some point. But I don't know if I'm into serial killers like that. I might watch something every now and then, but yeah. But I did watch The Shield back in the day, and part of that was dealing with sort of psychotic serial killers, psychopaths, and things like that. Oh, that is nasty, man. His brain's exposed. It's getting creepy already. You ever heard of Ken Elcroy? The town's bully. Look him up. There's some documentaries and a movie or two about him. His God was coming to him. Another serial killer? Hiding bodies, giving alibis, and doing whatever it takes to stay alive. If they ever catch you, you could be like, I just felt too scared to do anything else. I wanted to tell the police, but I was frightened. This man's seeing visions of run over dudes that he just met that same day, and is like when the practice come out to TNT and FX. I really wanted to see it, but never caught an episode. I'll have to binge that. Dude's wearing shorts. The Shield, man, The Shield. I did watch The Practice. A bit, mostly on school mornings. The Practice, is that like a medical show? Shield was a good show, actually. That was one of my favorite shows back in the day. Vic Mackey. Shane Vendrell. It's by Kurt Sasser, who wanted to do Sons of Anarchy. In fact, a lot of the guys from the Shield ended up in Sons of Anarchy. Man, this movie creepy. This movie is creepy. It's only just started as well. No, I never killed any, but he deserved that for the number of it he did. And to this day, the law doesn't know anything. Calls the people in the town kept their mouths closed to the sea. Silence. Yeah, that's another thing. Sometimes when communities are too scared to speak, some of the things that happen behind closed doors that people know about, but nobody says nothing. You know, there's like families that would protect like a pedophile or you know, someone who's molesting children, even within their own family. There might be someone who's molesting, some uncle's molesting his nephew or niece or whatever, right? There's families that would protect that uncle because like they don't want the shame of that getting out. So they just keep quiet about it and pretend it's not happening, and rather than just say something and confront it, because if it gets out, it's like it brings shame on the family, and they don't want to do that. So pride and ego could be a powerful thing, and not always for the, well, very seldom for good reasons. Yeah, careful with them trucks. Oh, perhaps this was another crime mystery. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't scared at all. Eesh, all stuck down. Yeah, they wasn't scared at all. They were in between being glad and being in on it. I can honestly say I would never protect a pedo. I don't care who it was. Pedos are the lowest of the low. They should be castrated. I don't know about over there in the UK, dog. Over yeah, back in the day, black families used to say, "What happens in the house stays in the house." Yeah, but that's the thing. It's what stays in the house. But yeah, man, it's like it's sad when you hear about these stories where, you know, kids are getting molested and it's often someone in the family doing it, and then you find out later that, like, you know, grandma knew or something like that, or the mother knew. Like, you hear about cases where like the mother remarries, right, and the guy that she marries molests the daughter, and the mother will say nothing and maybe even acts like it's the daughter's fault and say, "Oh, you're a little hussy. You act all grown." And it's, yeah, like it's so sad when you hear some of these stories like that. And it's one thing to say, it's like, I mean, what happens in the house stays in the house. I don't, strictly speaking, disagree with that as a sentiment, but there's certain things where it's like, you can't keep quiet about that. You know, you can't keep quiet about, you know, child molestation or pedophilia or any kind of mad crime, you know. Can't be keeping quiet about that, because the people who suffer in the end, the people who suffer the most in the end, it's like usually are going to be the kids. So yeah, never protect that. Mutation, like you said, yeah. Need to get over that stigma of not reporting crimes of the nature. Indeed, indeed. The thing is, say, I mean, the thing about getting over stigma though is like, the unfortunate truth is that it's not something that just happens, right? I mean, we know they should get over it. We know that shouldn't happen. We know that, you know, and I'm sure at some level they know that too. But yeah, people's pride, people's ego. The whole thing about what would other people think, what would other people say. Everybody wants others to think like their house has all they've got their household together and nothing's bad, everything's. This is one of the reasons, and I know this is sort of a kind of a side note, but this is one of the reasons when, if you ever hear, like, people say things like, oh, you know, back in the old days, you know, marriages lasted long, and marriages were more, they say marriages were more successful because they lasted long. They literally put up with more. Literally put up with more. And that includes things like, you know, rape, abuse, molestation. It includes things like that. People put up with more because whether it's ego, pride, not wanting to disappoint the family, lack of choices, or combinations of things. Ooh. Boy, this Judd guy is creepy and just got even creepier. My cousin was abused. He ended up with a drink problem. Lost her kids. She passed away 2 years ago. She didn't reach 40. Yeah, I'm passionate about pedos being locked up. That's sad, man. That's so sad. Sorry, Sam. No, I should have to go through that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, it's like, if you find out something wrong like that going on, gotta say something. And I get it, like, it's not easy, and it's not, not everybody has people they can turn to, and I'm not unsympathetic to that sort of thing as well, but gotta say something, man. Gotta say something. Gotta, even if it's, you know, calling the police or packing up, take the kids and go stay with a friend or a family member or something. Although, to be fair, sometimes family could be the problem, you know, so there is that, but raw. That same cat, you know. By the way, speaking of pedos, did you guys see this thing going around maybe a few weeks back? There was this video clip, and it was of well, the person in the video said they're a sex therapist or a relationship therapist or something along those lines, and they referred to pedophiles as minor attracted persons. And basically in the video, she was trying, or at least seemingly trying, to create a case for the normalization of pedophilia by referring to them as minor attracted persons, and saying that it's something that they're born with, you know, that whole thing. Yeah, no one believed her because the scum that did it was so convincing. So that's one of the sad truths about these things as well, is that the people who do that are often, you know, believable people. You know, they maybe they're good looking, maybe they're charming, or, you know, have a way with words, that sort of thing. Where they know how to present themselves to society to make themselves look like the guy you can trust. You know. Can't always trust a nice guy. Remembering. Remember in the movie A Time to Kill, Samuel Jackson's character murks those two racist ass mofos for raping and trying to lynch his daughter. That's what fuckers like that needs. I haven't seen that movie, but yeah, I know of it. I know of it. I can start off with map stuff. Makes me sick. Sorry, maps. They say 9 nice guy is also capable of being a dangerous guy. Well, indeed. Indeed. All came out after she passed. Another person came forward within the... Oof. Came with a family and they went to police. Oh, right, that was a appreciation. Okay, my track. Oh, gotcha. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Call it what it is. Pedophiles, sickos, you know, known as minor attracted persons. I mean, the thing about that is that even if you say that it is something they're born with, let's assume for a moment that's true. I mean, end of the day, I wouldn't know. I can't prove either way. But let's say that it's true, that it's something that they're born with. That don't make it right. That doesn't make it right. You know, just because you're born with something, that don't make it right. Some kids are born with, you know, heart disease. You know, you still treat it. You know what I mean? Just because you're born with something, that don't make it right. It doesn't mean it's a good thing. It just means you're born with a sickness. But the thing is that, you know, I've heard like some pedos say stuff like they try to refer to it like as a sexual orientation, like, you know, being homosexual and or, you know, things like that. And it's nothing like that. I mean, the biggest thing is like, for one thing is that you're talking about trying to form a sexual relationship with a person who lacks the ability to give consent. You know what I mean? Like, 2 men can do what they want, 2 women can do what they want. You know, you're adults, do whatever you want. But when you have an adult and a child who doesn't have the maturity to understand what's going on, and you think it's okay to have a sexual relationship with that person just because you were born with something, like, nah. Nah. What's this lady gonna do? Oof. You passed another person I went to the police, but he unfortunately died before justice was brought. That's Stephen King right there. I do think they are born that way, and they still shouldn't be around kids. End of. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. Take them to therapy. Take them to counseling. Take them to whatever doctor, whatever. But keep them away from kids. That's why you gotta teach them as soon as they can understand words, like them knowing their numbers, addresses, families, name, etc. The most vulnerable in society and needs the most protection. Kids and elderly, yeah, indeed. 100%. It's like, yeah, I heard about a case. I think it was on the Soft White Underbelly channel. Actually, I think I heard this on where it was a man who was, well, first the man was molesting his daughter, his own daughter, and then that daughter grew up, had children, and then that same man started molesting his granddaughter. And you know, that all went on for a while. And then when it sort of finally came out and he was potentially facing prison and things like that, he ended up dying before, you know, that anything could happen. Well, I mean, it all depends on people's belief systems. It's the most vulnerable and disabled people. Yeah, indeed. If someone's innately a pedo or crazy, then just what it is not functional for society. Yeah, indeed. Some people need more help than others. Some people need more looking after than others, and if we're not doing that, we're failing them. Be right back. Alright. Oh, this ain't gonna end well, is it? This guy better look where he's going. Slow down, man. Slow down. Right. That kid got a potty mouth. Uh-oh. Oh, no, 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 no. Hey. Oh, mate. Oh, mate, the little kid. That guy was going way too fast, man. Way too fast. Like, slow down, bro. Have you ever tried to do something like that? Your kid or any other kid? You'd have to know to hold yourself accountable for what you'll do to their ass. You know the part you're watching, dog. Yeah, that was oof. That kid. Yeah, another thing I heard about years ago, where speaking of holding yourself accountable. So there's a story I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. It probably is. I could believe it's true anyway. Where this man found out that his son, was his son or his daughter? Well, his child was being molested, right? And he found out the person who's doing it was his brother. So, you know, uncle's molesting the niece or the nephew. So anyway, the father of the kid gets a gun, goes over to his brother, shoots him. Yeah. I can't remember if their story goes that he kills him or not, but he shoots him. And then goes over to the police, hands the gun over and tells them what he did and why he did it. I mean, man tried. Man causing a scene though. Guess who's back? Back again. Sam is back. Tell a friend. Or shall I go with this one actually?
Guess who's back? Back again. Sam is back. Tell a friend.
Well, I should go with this one for a little while. See how this sounds. Let me know if you guys have any preferences.
I got a few of these actually. Let me see here.
I think this one is, if I wanted to do like the song, we're the chipmunks. CHIPMUNK, we're the chipmunks. Guaranteed to brighten your day when you da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Alvin, Simon, Theodore.
This one, which I'm not sure how this one sounds. I'm not going to hear what it sounds like myself right now. So I'm going to kind of guess, trying to remember which one it is, what I think this one's like. As my CPU is a neural network processor, a learning computer.
And this one is like, if I wanted to talk about demons and the underworld, zombies and goblins. So, here's a question. Since like the price of everything is going up, cost of living is going up, times are hard, we just come off a pandemic, lots of people are struggling. How much for your soul? Like, if I wanted to buy your soul, this is my question for the group, everybody in the group. If I wanted to buy your soul, how much would I have to pay for it? How much for me to buy your soul? That's my question. I'm not going to ask the question in this voice. Simon and Eleanor, my favorite ones, the smart ones.
Simon and Eleanor, yeah, they were pretty cool. I remember Eleanor much, but I definitely remember Simon. And I remember Eleanor a little bit. There was like Brittany and I can't remember the other girl's name.
Timmy Bateman. So mine don't work, so you can have it for free. For free? Ah. You wouldn't even take a little bit? I'll tell you what, I'll give you $5 for your soul. I feel bad if I just took it for free, so I'll give you $5 for it. Jeanette. What were the girls' names? Because, to be honest, I remember, like, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. The girls I really don't remember too much. So when you said Eleanor, I was like, okay, cool. One was called Eleanor. I was like, apparently not. Jeanette. Okay, cool. But yeah, the dudes I remember. The girls I don't remember too well. Alright, so Sam said I could have her sold for free, but I offered a $5 anyway. What other fake prices have we got? By the way, it doesn't have to be just money. Like, what would I have to pay, whether that's money or whatever commodity or whatever? But what would your soul cost? What would I have to pay, or what would I have to do to get your soul? That's what I want to know. What would I have to pay, or what would I have to do in exchange for your soul? Jeanette, Eleanor, and forgot the leader's name. Was one of them called Brittany? Because I feel like I remember one of them being called Brittany. I don't know if I'm making that up, to be honest with you, but I feel like I remember one of them was called Brittany. Still going with 3. Okay. Oh, that's sweet. So that's a good one. It's like, you know, that's I know you got a good person right there. It's like, you offered to pay for something, like, no, I said free. You can have it for free. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know what I'd sell my soul for. It'd have to be a lot, though. It'd have to be like I don't know if I'd sell my soul for money. Like, it'd have to be something that, I don't know. I think something really big. Well, I don't. Maybe not big. Maybe not big's not the right word to use. But yeah, it can't be. It have to be a bit. It has to be like. It can't be just like a regular thing, you know. Yeah, it has to be okay. Like maybe a cheesecake. You know what I mean? Like a really good cheesecake. So I might go with, like, but not just like any old cheesecake. You know, it has to be like one of those really, really good cheesecakes. You know, the ones that cost like 30 quid. You know, like those kind of cheesecakes, not some cheap Tesco's cheesecake. It has to be like a master cheesecake, you know, like made from like the master cheesecake makers, you know, like something like that. Imagine selling your soul for a cheesecake. Someone's probably done that. I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, you know, let me look this up. I'm sure there's somebody in the history of this world who tried to sell their soul for a cheesecake or some item of food. I'm going to look this up real quick. I reckon there's somebody in our Earth history, in our human history, who tried to sell their soul for food. To be fair, food is good reason. Yeah, but it has to be good food, though. I mean, I feel like it has. If you're gonna do it, it has to be like, because if you sold your soul for, I don't know, like a packet of like knickknacks or something, it's like, dude, come on. You know what I mean? Come on, you can be better than that. Like a really good steak, maybe. Like a packet of Hubba Bubbas, like, dude, come on, man, you could do better than that. Just right. Looks like the Chipettes leader. It was Brittany. Okay, cool. Awesome. I got one right. I haven't had Hubba Bubba in years and years. Hubba Bubba was the shit back in the day, man. Like back when I was in school, Hubba Bubba was it. Like we used to try and blow bubbles and everything. And there was like a trick you can do where you can blow a bubble within a bubble. I don't think I ever saw anybody do that though, but apparently that was the myth, that you could blow a bubble within a bubble. Yo, Belgian Dan, Bubbleception. Yeah, that's the one. The man, Belgian Dan. How you doing today, sir? We're just asking a question. What would you sell your soul for? Like if I was to buy your soul, what would you want in exchange for your soul? It could be money, or it could be some kind of service. But what would I have to pay or do to get your soul? That's the question I'm asking. On the real, my favorite one was the LeBron James cherry lemonade flavor. I don't think we had that over here. And if they did, then I might have missed that, because I think by the time, I mean, when did LeBron James start playing basketball? He probably started playing basketball like long after I stopped having Hubba Bubba, I'm sure. But yeah, back in like, I mean, Hubba Bubba for me was maybe more early to mid 90s, that kind of period of time. Like Hubba Bubba and all them kind of sweets, Jawbreakers, Everlasting Jawbreakers. What's the one, the one where was it? I can't remember what they called it, but there was like one, you had like a pack of Jawbreakers, but one was like the super sours, yeah. But like what you had like 5 in a pack or 4 in a pack. Most of them were like normal flavor, but then one was like super sour, right? Super sour. And the idea was that you should share them out and you don't know which one you're getting. And if you got the one that was super sour, you had to try and like not show that you got it. So you just heard like this, trying to not show it, but ugh, that was too hard, man. That was too hard. Bubblegum roulette, yeah, man. That was that was it. Okay, how about you? Let me think about it. I'm doing all right, man. Appreciate you coming through. How about, yeah, I'm sure that was over in the UK. I mean, they might have done it, but they probably did. I mean, LeBron James is popular over here, so I'm sure they would have had it. But I think by the time that was around, yeah, I probably wasn't in the bubble, Hubba Bubba buy-in period of my life at that point. Yeah, I could sell myself for the Krispy Kreme's apple crumble donut because fuck, that was sexy. Oh, they got a few new ones I just saw actually, like what was it called now? Jaffa Cake. It was a Jaffa Cake donut. I haven't tried it though, but I saw it in the shop. So oof. That's gonna have to go into my site, inside my belly at some point. Alright, so Sam's selling her soul for an apple crumble. Oh, you know what though? Are they still doing the apple crumble? Because it was limited edition, wasn't it? Oh man, that might be hard to get. The apple crumble, the Krispy Kreme's apple crumble might be hard to get. So, but if I can get one, cool. Buying Sam's soul for an apple crumble donut. I have to just get an apple crumble donut. If they still, I don't think they still sell them though. I have to call up Krispy Kreme's and ask them to like redo that one, or at least just make one. They don't have to make a whole bunch, just make one. What would you sell your soul for? At the moment I'm thinking like a really good cheesecake, but it's like, like I say, it can't be just like just an okay cheesecake or a pretty good cheesecake. It has to be like a really top tier cheesecake, I think. like top tier, like the absolute best cheesecake in the world, I might consider it for that. I don't know, I might change my mind later, but at the moment I'm saying cheesecake. Whatever the best cheesecake in the world is, that's what I want. I mean, I think I'll pass on the Jaffa Cake donut. Unpopular opinion, I ain't a fan of dark chocolate. It's a little bitter for me. Jaffa Cakes are nice though. Jaffa Cakes aren't really dark chocolate though, what? Jaffa Cakes aren't dark chocolate. I'm pretty sure they're not dark chocolate. And to be fair, it's been a while since I've had a Jaffa Cake. But I don't remember them being dark chocolate. But either so, I like Jaffa Cakes. Although they are actually biscuits and not cakes. It should be called Jaffa Biscuits, really. Just saying. Just saying. You know, cause my ass ain't worth a damn, therefore my soul wouldn't be worth shit either. They tell me your tree branch looking motherfucker, get on somewhere. Don't want you, leave this realm. Listen, in this village, everybody's soul is worth something. Cakes are nice, but it's a dark chocolate on the donut. Oh, the Jaffa Cake donut has dark chocolate. Oh, I see. It's also man. Okay, gotcha. One of these days, I don't know when, maybe soon, but one of these days, there's a shop on in London on Brick Lane. For those who know Brick Lane, it's on Brick Lane. I can't remember the name of the shop, but there's a shop in Brick Lane that sells chocolate. And that might sound like, well, duh. But what I mean is that they sell like premium chocolate. Now, I've never been in this shop. I've just kind of walked past that and seen it from the outside. Their chocolate, they'll sell chocolate for like £100. Right, £100, and I'd have to assume, because like I said, I haven't actually been inside the shop because I'm not at that level. I could walk inside the shop, selling chocolate for £100 and just look around. I'm not there yet. So I'd have to assume that if you're selling chocolate for £100, that it's got to be like pure chocolate, or at least as close to pure chocolate as you can get. Like no milk or nothing, no dilute. Just one of these days, I'm gonna buy that £100 chocolate. Oh no, 100 exactly. That's yeah. And you know what? It's probably like really rich to the point where. Because the chocolate you buy in the shops is like very even dark chocolate, like it's not pure chocolate. Like the chocolate that when you buy a chocolate bar like a Mars or whatever, even when you buy dark chocolate, it's not pure chocolate. There's levels of milk to it. So I feel like at that point, £100 chocolate, it's going to be really, really rich chocolate that most of us just aren't used to tasting. So yeah, that's one of my life goals, to buy £100 chocolate. And I probably won't even like it. I probably think it's like, I can't. I probably won't even like it, but that's one of my life goals, to buy £100 chocolate. Or it's probably more than £100 now, since everything else is going up. So the last time I saw it was £100. It's probably 110 or 120 by now. I know over there I'll say biscuits and cakes and shit. No, what I mean is that Jaffa cakes are actually biscuits. They're called Jaffa cakes, but they are actually biscuits. There is a difference between a biscuit and a cake. But what we call Jaffa cakes, or the company who makes them, McVitie's, they call them Jaffa cakes, but they are actually biscuits, even though they're called Jaffa cakes. Like, the name of them is Jaffa cake, but they are actually biscuits, not cakes. But yeah, there is a difference between biscuits and cakes. Like, there is a clear distinction between what is a biscuit and what is a cake. They're two different things. But Jaffa cakes, they're called Jaffa cakes. They are actually biscuits. And that's probably real confusing for people who aren't familiar with the whole Jaffa cake biscuits situation. But it was a big thing back in the day. Like, there was I think it was actually a court case. I'm not sure when. I think back in the 90s, there was a court case as to whether they should be classed as biscuits or cakes. And the final ruling was that they're classed as biscuits. Actually, let me just double check that real quick. Maybe I made that up. I mean, there was a court case, but let me just make sure that they are actually biscuits. Oh no, I mixed it up. Sorry, my bad. Oh, I mixed it up. I mixed it up. I got my facts incorrect. So no, there was a court case. So yeah, sorry. No, I messed it up. I got my facts. I messed up my facts. My bad. Sorry, guys. So there was a court case, but yeah, the final results or the final verdict is that Jaffa cakes were cakes. But there was a whole thing about whether Jaffa cakes are cakes or biscuits, because they look like biscuits, right? But they're cakes. So sorry, my bad. They're officially cakes. Even though they look like biscuits. Let me see if I can show you a picture real quick, actually. That's what they look like. That's what they look like. But yeah, sorry, I messed up the facts. My bad. They're often eaten like biscuits, though. Like, you would eat them like how you would eat a biscuit. But they're cakes. Or at least, according to the law, they're cakes. Amber Heard plays with a daughter in Spain. I don't know. She had a kid watching some teams. Oh, okay. So what did Amber Heard? No, that made no sense. That milk chocolate though. Dark chocolate is no for me. And to prove I have no racial bias against chocolate, white chocolate is horrible also. Sam likes her chocolate mix race, I guess. Happens, no worries. I appreciate you, Dan. Yeah, don't look like biscuits though. They look like a cake. They taste like cakes. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess they're officially cakes. I mean, I guess with this picture, that probably looks a bit more like a cake, really. If you go with that picture, don't they? Okay, so they look more like biscuits in this picture. I think that picture makes them look more like biscuits. Ferrero Rocher is one of my favorite. Oh, I like Ferrero Rocher actually. Oh, monsieur, with Ferrero Rocher, you're really spoiling us. Oh, this ain't gonna end well for this guy. I think this man's gonna exit the movie. The Jaffa cakes in my cupboard look like cakes. They might, have they changed the design over the years? I mean, are they thicker now? Like more like to emphasize the cake bit a bit more. I haven't had Jaffa cakes in the longest time, man, but I do like them. I do like me some Jaffa cakes. Same, I just always thought they were cake. I think when... Uh-oh. Eesh. Oh. Right in the Achilles tendon. I think. I don't really know anatomy that well. Oh. Hey. Case. Oh, mate. Yeah, he's not going to be in this movie no more. Yeah, when you bite into them, like the inside does have that kind of soft, more of a cakey feel to it, but it's very thin. And the name Jaffa Cake. Yeah, it was. I guess it was in the name all along. They called them Jaffa Cakes, but yeah, it was a big thing. It was a big thing. I remember it was like a big debate as well. Like, are they cakes or biscuits? Like, people discussed this in school. I remember, are they cakes or biscuits? And the court case was to do with like tax and VAT specifically, because like one of them you can charge VAT on, another one you don't pay VAT on. I forget which one's which, but I'm assuming right now you don't pay VAT on cakes, or maybe you do actually. I'm sure you pay VAT on cakes. Okay, so cakes are 0 rated on VAT, but biscuits covered in chocolate do have VAT applied. So yeah, I guess what the court case would have been about, because if they class as biscuits and they have chocolate on them, then you have to have VAT on them, whereas if they're cakes, you don't. Just wait till Christmas and you can buy the long tubes of Jaffa cakes. Long tubes? I'm not sure I've even seen those. Oh wait, you talk about stuff like this? Yeah, that's a pretty long... I mean, something like this, that'd be like my share. I have to buy 2 to, like, you know, so that other people can have some, I guess, or something like that. Oof, that's gotta hurt. Man, this guy. Why would you... I mean, after he saw what the thing did to his cat, when it brought it back and the cat went all mad, why would you do that to the son, though? Like, that is your own fault, dude. Food is the one good thing about Christmas. It's all about the Jaffa cakes, cheeselets, and the quality streets. If he thought it was urgent and he couldn't talk to him right now, why did he answer the phone? She just left it, let it ring. When it comes to quality streets or roses or, you know, any kind of variety box, tin, you know, sweet chocolates, things like that. Whenever they're being offered around, you know, somebody's like going around with a box with a tin and they're offering around the sweets or the chocolates, whatever, you know, where you don't necessarily have a lot of time to you know, check the menu and see which one's which. Here's a tip. I'm pretty sure I've said this before actually, but I'm gonna say it again just in case. But here's a tip: when you don't have a lot of time to pick something, you know, but you know you want to pick something, pink or red. Pink or red. Pink should be your first choice. If that's not available, then go with red. And if that's not available, then blue or green is good as well. But yeah, pink, red, and if those not available, blue or green. Whatever, anytime you see those colors, it's a good one. It's a good one. When it comes to things like yellow, gold, I mean, they might be okay, but I feel like you're running a risk with those ones. Brown, it might be okay. I mean, when it comes down to it, any of them could be good, but pink, you're almost certainly going to get, I'll say like 99.999% of the time, you go with pink and you're going to get something good. Pink, red, blue, green, but pink, that should be your first choice. That's, what's that, Equality Street, blue is my first choice, red second, purple third, purple. So red second choice, blue's the first. Blue was like I can't remember what the blue one was actually right now, but purple. Purple's okay, I guess. I mean, I can't remember exactly what purple is at the moment, but I guess the purple's okay. But yeah, pink is always my first choice. Pink is always my first choice. If you got time to like look through the menu and see what's what, then cool. But if you don't, I'm going with pink. Matter of fact, even if I do have time to go through the menu, I'm still probably just go with pink. He has to gauge. Blue is coconut, red is strawberry, pink is fudge, purple is the nuts and caramel wine. Oh, okay, I do like coconut. Strawberry is always good. Man, I posted my FB last night meme about a Brit calling Oreos chocolate sandwich biscuits. I was like, what the fuck you mean? We say Oreos. We have Oreos over here. I mean, I guess. I mean, wait, Oreos are not chocolate. Wait, no. It's like a what's in the middle of an Oreo? It's like a white cream, isn't it? I guess the outer biscuit is a chocolate. So I don't know if you could call it chocolate sandwich, since the chocolate is not in the middle. So yeah, I feel like chocolate sandwich biscuit is a bit inaccurate. But yeah, we have Oreos over here. They do sell them. They're quite common actually. So yeah, no good reason for calling them a chocolate sandwich biscuit. That's not quite what they are. If the chocolate was in the middle, oh shit. That kid though. Yeah, if the chocolate is in the middle, then maybe you can say chocolate sandwich biscuit, but it's not in the middle, so I don't think that's accurate. Oh, mate. Yeah, no, y'all got just about every junk and snack, yeah, that the US have. Yeah, probably. Probably. I mean, I'm sure there's some differences, but yeah, probably. Why would you think that was a good idea to bury your son in that cemetery that did that madness to the cat? But yeah, we got Reese's over here. Reese's are nice. Reese's peanut butter pieces. I don't even like peanut butter, but I do like Reese's. I'm gonna burn the whole house down. Well. Yeah, all that, yeah. Same, I don't like peanut butter either, but I'll see Reese's. Yeah, the Reese's, and I don't know what they do, but the Reese's, they've got it. Just like, Oh, he still hasn't learned his lesson. He still ain't learned his lesson. Could have my peanut butter and Reese's. I ain't know what they do to it, but whatever they did to it, they did it right. George Washington Carver, you know. Actually, I don't know. So, sorry. George Washington, he's one of the presidents, right? This guy, man. The cat went mad. The son went mad. And you still gonna bury the... Oh, you dumb, fam. Are you dumb? Oh, this ain't gonna end well. He quite clearly is, for real. This man is dumb. Well, either that or he's just really horny. Maybe a little bit of both. Oh, dude, are you serious right now? Yeah, he ain't gonna. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Man's a dickhead, fam. The cat went mad. The son went mad, and you still thought, yeah, let me bury the wife there as well. Are you stupid? Bro. At that point, it's like it's your, you can't be blaming nobody else. That's on you. You can't blame that judge, dude. Okay, he introduced you to something he shouldn't introduce you to, but when you're constantly going back to the well, that's on you, fam. That is on you. But anyway, that was Pet Sematary from 1989. I thought it was okay, actually. I remember hearing about this film as a kid. A lot of the sort of kids in my schools, well, not a lot, but some of the kids in my school saw it and they were talking about it, but I never saw it, so I'd heard of it, but I've never actually seen it. But I remember them talking about it like it's this mad, horror, scary, freaky movie, and I just never saw it. Now that I am seeing it, yeah, it's definitely freaky. I probably would have been more affected by it if I watched it as a child, I reckon, but watching it now as a somewhat an adult, you know, kind of an adult, adult adjacent, as they say these days. I mean, it was okay. I thought it was okay. Definitely had some creepy stuff in there. I think the general story was pretty nuts. It did feel like it made no sense for that guy to keep going back to that burial site to bury, like, especially after the cat. You know, it's like, yo, there's no good reason after you saw what happens to the cat to think, I'm gonna bury my son there. It's like, no, that's a reason to not bury. If anything, that's a good reason to not bury your son there. And then what happens with his son, and then what happens when his wife dies? It's like, yeah, it's like, dude, you're just being stupid now. And I know horror movies have people do stupid. I get it. It's kind of part of the whole thing, but it's like, no, you're actually just being dumb. You're being unnecessarily thick right now, but going back to his burial site and burying these people there when you've seen what happened. You done seen what happened twice, you know. But hey, it was an okay film. It was an okay film. For those who watched it, those who've seen it, what y'all think of Pet Sematary? Oh, and by the way, spell it Pet Sematary S-E-M rather than C-E-M. And apparently there was supposed to be a reason for that. I'm not sure I saw that reason in this film, though. I'm not sure I saw the reason. Maybe it's explained better in the book, but I'm not sure I saw the reason as to why it's called Pet Sematary and it's purposely spelled incorrectly. I think I heard at one time it's something to do with like the way kids spell it or something like that. But that didn't seem obvious in this film, at least not to me. But maybe that's something that's explained better in the book, or maybe I just missed it because, you know, I don't get everything, you know. So there is just that. He was a black man at a university who perfected the use of peanut butter. Oh, okay. Back during the time period, white people, especially in the South, didn't eat peanut butter before that. I see. Well, I don't know about perfected. I mean, peanut butter is still nasty. So, I reckon whatever Reese did, that's. I feel like that's that. So unless this guy works at Reese, then I'm not sure he perfected it. I watched that as a kid and I wasn't affected. Okay, fair enough. There is that. There's another black man who perfected vanilla ice cream and who invented an ice cream scoop too. Okay. I do like vanilla ice cream. Because, I mean, who doesn't like vanilla ice cream? It's the most basic ice cream for sure. But come on, can't go wrong with vanilla ice cream. It's one of these flavors where if you're really not sure what you want to have, you can't go wrong with vanilla. Yeah, it's not the greatest thing. It's not the best flavor. It's nobody's favorite flavor. But I feel like it's something that everybody likes. You know what I mean? They like vanilla biscuits. Who doesn't like vanilla biscuits? Vanilla ice cream, vanilla latte, vanilla, just about vanilla anything. You know, anything where you can have vanilla flavor, you're doing okay. Like, you know what I mean? It's nobody's favorite flavor. But if you can't decide on what to choose, or you're not really sure about the other stuff, and you just want to stick with something that you know you're going to like, vanilla. You know what I mean? Go with vanilla. Like everybody, I feel like everybody likes vanilla. I'm pretty sure there's nobody in the world that doesn't like vanilla. You know what I mean? It's the one thing that I think we could all agree on, that everybody likes vanilla. I could celebrate the dude who perfected peanut butter, but I still think he has a way to go. It's horrible. Exactly. I'm not sure it's perfected. Exactly. It's just perfected by whose standards? Like it's not nice at all. Either that, or just the peanut butter that Sam and I's had just isn't the one that he perfected. That could be it. Maybe because I feel like I've only ever had like Sunpat peanut butter. You know, was it Sunpat? Is it Sunpat? I think I've only ever had that peanut butter. But maybe the peanut butter this guy perfected isn't that. Maybe he did some other peanut butter, and that's like the best peanut butter. I don't know. But if he worked at Sunpat, I'm telling you, he did not perfect peanut butter. It is perfected for people with no taste buds, maybe, but yeah, nut butter. Let me close that down. So there's a question based on what we just saw. Well, based on this movie, somebody close to you, someone close to you passes away, and you have the opportunity to bury them in this ancient burial site that would bring them back to life, but they'll come back to life as a crazed, murderous zombie. Are you bringing them back to life? Actually, let's actually let me add something to it. They're a crazed murderous zombie, but they're really good to you. That means that they're a crazed murderous zombie, like everybody else is like they're a crazed murderous zombie, but they're really good and kind to you. Do you still bring them back? Do you bring them back and live a happy life, even though everybody else suffers the wrath of this crazed murderous zombie? Or you just let what happen. Death is a natural part of life, something that happens with all of us, and just bury them in a regular burial site where they just stay resting in peace. What do you do? Vanilla ice cream is nice, chocolate not so much. Yeah, and I think I'd agree with that as well. I mean, I don't mind chocolate ice cream, but I mean, put it this way, if you put it in front of me, I will eat it. But yeah, I wouldn't, strictly speaking, enjoy it. I'll eat it. I'll finish it. But yeah, I wouldn't, strictly speaking, enjoy it. I mean, I don't think it's disgusting. It's not disgusting. It's just, for me, you know, it's more like, It's a little bit above, sorry, a little bit below okay. Like, no certain foods are like really good. Some stuff is just okay, and then there's things that are just disgusting, right? I feel like chocolate ice cream for me is like a little bit below okay. It's not so far below okay where I just know You know, it's not that far below okay, but it's not quite okay either. It's just like there's okay, right? Okay's there. Chocolate ice cream for me is about there. You know, it's a little bit. So yeah, okay's there. Chocolate ice cream for me is about there. It's a little bit below okay. You know. Not disgusting, but below okay. I'll say it's definitely quite above disgusting. Like, disgusting is like down there. Chocolate ice cream is definitely above disgusting. Way above disgusting, but not okay. It's just... So yeah, I'd finish it. But I wouldn't enjoy it. It's been... No, I wouldn't. Death is a natural order of things, and I don't believe we should mess with that. Indeed. As sad as it is when the people close to us pass, messing around with that kind of stuff ain't nothing good happening from that. Even if they are good to you. It's just, yeah. But I would say, I guess on a deeper level of this movie, Pet Sematary, I guess it's a reference or a look at how sometimes, you know, we do have trouble letting go of people who pass away. Like, you know, I think that's part of our feel, you know, the whole thing about the stages of grief, you know, the one stage being denial and that kind of thing. And maybe there's a part of us sometimes that's so focused on the denial stage that we do have trouble letting go and sort of moving on from that. And I guess this film, especially when it came to the son and the daughter, the son and the wife, it's just that his trouble letting go. I mean, I think the film doesn't, strictly speaking, make that bit clear. I'm kind of looking deeper into it than I probably should be. I haven't read the book. Possibly the book covers that sort of thing, but on some level, yeah, you could say that it deals with, or at least references the idea that sometimes we have such trouble letting go of the people that pass away that we might do things. And other films have done these sorts of things well, where they've done something like, you know, the Return of the Living Dead movie, where he, like, you know, gave her that chemical and to bring her back, but she's like this crazy zombie. And it's like, it's sad when it happens, but when it happens, yeah, we have to learn to deal with it, learn to accept it. There is sometimes when chocolate ice cream is nice, but overall I ain't a fan. Same with chocolate milkshakes. I tell you what, I do like. I like chocolate. It's just regular chocolate. Hot chocolate is something that I would say I've grown a bit more of a taste for in recent years. Like when I, like, years and years ago when I was younger, when I've tried it, I never liked it at all. In recent years, I say I've grown a bit more of a taste for sort of hot chocolate. Same with chocolate cake. You know, I feel like I've grown a bit more of a taste for that in recent years. But it might depend on the cake specifically. Like certain chocolate cakes, I think, are still but there are a few chocolate cakes out there where they get the right kind of texture and the moisture and all that kind of stuff, and it's just like spot on. Those are quite nice. Chocolate biscuits, I can do that. I mean, chocolate biscuits, it kind of like the bourbons, for example, are not bad. But when you have, like, say a digestive, but it's got the chocolate cover, a layer on it, like a coating, you know, those are really nice. I like those. Or Jaffa cakes with the chocolate on it as well. But yeah, chocolate ice cream, chocolate milkshake, yeah, I think I'd agree with that. They're for me. I mean, I'll drink it. Like, if you give me a chocolate milkshake, I will drink it. I'm not gonna throw it away or be like, oh, that's disgusting. Oh, no, I'll drink it. You know, flat out, I will drink it. But yeah, it'd be like, I might have to have some water next to it so I can wash the taste out of my mouth. But one of them ones that just, like, you know, you eat some food that you'll eat it, but you're not necessarily liking it that much. So you have like a cup of water nearby, just be like, let me wash this out of my mouth real quick. Or do you ever do this thing where you have like a plate of food with all different things in it, right? And you'd always eat, well, I don't know about you, but I'd always eat like the things that I feel like I'm not gonna like. You know, I'd eat those ones first. Like anything that I feel like I'm either not gonna like or not gonna like as much, I'll eat those first, right? Just so the last thing in my mouth can be the thing that I actually like the taste of. You know what I mean? So for example, if you have like, you got your salads, and you got say some potatoes, and then you've got I don't know, like a chicken, you know, something like that. As I'd always eat a salad first. And don't get me wrong, I don't hate salad. I'm fine with salad. I eat salad. It's not a problem. But end of the day, I like chicken better than I like salad. So I'd eat the salad first, right? Then like the potatoes, and then the chicken. Sometimes I mix it up a little bit, you know, like, you know, mix it just a bit. But I always make sure the salad is gone first. Like that be all gone before, and then the potatoes, and then yeah, chicken last, or the meat last. So yeah, save the best for last. Exactly, we like that, like that. And that sucks, no question. And it's hard letting go of people we love, but that's our burden if their soul is at peace and who are intimate with it. Indeed you do. You know, it's the one thing, it's the one certainty that we all have, that one day it's gonna happen, and all we can do is, you know, try to remember the good times and live our best life, you know. That's all you can do. My baby potatoes are melted. Belterman cheese, yeah. Just like a little sauce. Potatoes are good. I like potatoes. Roast potatoes, mashed potatoes, jacket potatoes. Pretty much any kind of potato, really. I feel like, you know, you cook a potato right, you could do a lot with potato. You know, you could do a lot with potatoes. Like I mean, certain potatoes, I guess you can like it doesn't really matter how good your cooking skills are. You kind of fine, but yeah, definitely like someone who is. Maybe not say, I don't think you need to be necessarily expert level skill, but if you're like reasonably skilled with cooking and food and stuff, then yeah, I feel like there's a lot you can do with potatoes. Jacket potatoes though, they all say jacket potatoes. The thing about jacket potatoes though is that they're pretty straightforward to cook. You know, you just put them in the oven, right? So they're pretty straightforward. But yeah, there's a lot you can do with that. You can have it beans, butter. You know what I mean? Different other sauces. Like, there's so much you can do with a jacket potato. You gotta eat the jacket though. You gotta eat the jacket. I know a lot of people don't like the jacket. I don't particularly like the jacket myself, but you gotta eat the jacket. You gotta eat the jacket. Roughage. Oh, you like that? Okay, fair enough then. But if you like the jacket, then yeah, that's easy. I mean, I would say I don't particularly like the taste of the jacket, and I don't really like the feel of it either. But and more time, I probably won't eat the jacket, to be honest. But yeah, you gotta eat the jacket. You gotta eat the jacket. You gotta finish it all. You gotta finish it all. Just like have the water nearby. That's when the water comes in handy. Have the water nearby. It's like that. Just will myself into eating the jacket. It's gotta be done, man. Gotta be done. When I do mash though, I use milk, butter, cheese, and mixed herbs, and it's amazing. That does sound nice, actually. Yeah, and the credit goes to him. Look up George Washington Carver and Edmund Albius. George Washington Carver. American scientist. George Washington Carver was an American agricultural scientist and inventor who promoted alternative crops to cotton and methods to prevent soil depletion. He was the most prominent black scientist of the early 20th century. Okay, big up man like George Washington Carver. What was up one? Edmund Albius. Edmund Albius. Edmund Albius was a horticulturist from Reunion. Born into slavery, Albius became an important figure in the cultivation of vanilla. At the age of 12, he invented a technique for pollinating vanilla orchids quickly and profitably. Born 9th August 1829, died 9th August 1880. Died on his birthday. I made corned beef for Ash last night. Took me right back to childhood. Oh, I remember corned beef. I ain't had corned beef for ages, man. But yeah, I remember corned beef. That salted beef that you get in a tin. Use that key thing to open it, to like peel off the side, to peel off the thing around the strip around the side, and you pull the lid off. I mean, I don't know if they still come in tins like that now because I haven't had it for a long time, but that's how it was back in the day. You have that key on the side and you twist it around and it peels like the thing all the way off, and you put it open and then you chop it up, put it in like sandwiches or whatever. So speaking of presidents, because I mean, I know George Washington Carver wasn't a president. We established that. We know that now, but still. Did you guys hear about Lizzo playing the flute that belonged to what's his name? Let me find it again. It was like an old president, Jefferson. No, that's not it. James Madison. James Madison. So like, yeah, she played the flute. Apparently it's a 200-year-old flute. And Lizzo played it on stage. And the flute belongs to, was it James Madison was a president, right? I'm not just making it up. I'm pretty sure I read he was a president. But yeah, apparently not too many people get to play that flute. Still do come like that. Oh, still does. Okay, cool. Send them tunes. Yeah. There's a reason why people love peanut butter, and Albius is the reason why people love vanilla. Well, I guess that's good for the people who like peanut butter. Yeah, so about that, she could have had more clothes and never knew had an instrument. I mean, Lizzo, as far as I can tell, she dresses how she always dresses, you know, so that's Lizzo. that's Lizzo just wearing what she wears. But she is a classically trained flautist. I think that's how it's pronounced. I might not be saying it correctly, but I believe it's pronounced flautist, not flute player. It's like flautist. Let me see. I feel like I'm making stuff up. But I'm not making stuff up. What is a flute player called? That's what I want to search right now. Yeah, flautist. Yeah, I don't just make it up. It is actually called a flautist. See, I know stuff. I'm bare smart, you know. I feel that's the first thing I got right today. A flute player is called a flautist. But yeah, Liz was a classically trained flautist. So yeah. I mean, I don't know what the criteria is to get to play that flute, but apparently not too many people get to. So yeah, big up Lizzo for that. Yeah, as one of the president's slave owners. Presidents before 1885 were. Before 1865, excuse me, were slave owners also. So you know, yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I didn't know that year specifically, but yeah, I was aware that some of the old school presidents were slave owners. That was a norm back in the day. Actually, you know what? I've been saying it wrong. So it's spelled Flautist. So I was saying flautist, but apparently it's actually pronounced flautist. I'm just seeing here. Flautist is how they say it's pronounced. Yeah, because that's the year the Civil War ended. So now I'm getting another one saying that it is actually flautist. So was I saying it right all along? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, because that's the year the Civil War ended and the freeing of the slaves, etc., etc. Let's see. Joe Biden would be if he could get away with it. Didn't Joe Biden? I saw something recently. He was like, he was saying something about congratulating a woman or something like that, but a woman actually died. Like he was saying something like, I want to thank all the people who helped or something like that. And he mentioned a few names, and one of the people he named was someone who died like a few months ago or something. I don't know, man. This Biden fella, I'm sure he's a nice guy. But mate, you might want to get his memory checked. Like, dude, what are you doing? There we go. Joe Biden had another senior moment after calling on dead woman. Oh, Joe. Oh, Joseph. Yeah, I saw that about Brandon on Meet the Press last night. Oh, right, that's what, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Doesn't strike me as nice. Joe doesn't strike me as nice. I mean, I don't know. He seems like the type of person who, like, outside of the whole like politics and presidency stuff, like he's probably the type of person who can like, you could sit down and he could tell you like old stories or something. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But yeah, maybe he shouldn't be running the country though. That he might. He's the type of, I feel like he's the type of person you could sit and maybe have a tea and cake with. Have tea and biscuits with. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe not run a country. Like, just because you can have tea and biscuits with somebody doesn't mean they should be running the country. I'm just saying that there's two different criterias for that. You know, two different qualifications. where he did a lot of this that fucked up black people, along with his 47, 48 years in office doing nothing. Biden has said some really racist stuff. Okay, I mean, I said he seems nice. That's what I'm saying. Not that he is nice. I mean, he just seems. Just seems like he's a nice guy. But apparently he's not. Apparently he's not too nice at all. All right then. Well, guess I just learned something today. Yeah. Yeah, I did see like I saw this thing where somebody was talking about politicians, and he was just saying that nobody should be a career politician, and he was suggesting that anybody born at a certain time, like there should be an age limit. And quite frankly, I agree with that. I feel like there's a point where there should be like a minimum age and a maximum age for these sorts of things, you know. A minimum age because, yeah, you need to have like life experiences and blah 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 blah, but then a maximum age because, let's be honest, like there's a point where you do not represent the majority of the country, you know. So yeah, I feel like there should be a minimum age and a maximum age, and not to say that older people can't contribute or younger people can't contribute or this, that, and the other. I mean, yeah, I mean there can be places for that for those kind of advice and consultations and stuff like that, but ultimately I feel like there should be a minimum age and a maximum age, and a man like Joe Biden is well past that maximum age. I like Trump, but even I think things were less crazy when he was in power, even with COVID. Along with the Clintons came with the 1994 crime bill that messed up blacks. He was asked if he'd change it. He said no. He talked highly about the KKK member, about AKK member. He said, I remember that bit actually. You ain't black. Oh shit, I actually remember that. Oh shit, I forgot about that. But yeah, that reminded me. Yeah, okay, yeah. I just been reminded. Yep. My bad. Trump was was he less crazy than Biden? Oof, that could be a debate, isn't it? Like, I guess they have like their pros and cons, so to speak, right? But who was more or less crazy? But that could be a discussion. I guess Trump was more obviously crazy, right? And because he was more obvious with it, it maybe led to some inadvertent entertainment aspects of his presidency, whereas Biden is maybe less obvious with his craziness. I mean, every now and then, sure, there's one of his senior moments, right? But I think for the most part, he's probably less obvious with his craziness, and maybe that's the difference. You know, Trump was a lot more obvious than Biden. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no, I remember that actually. I remember that. I forgot about it, but now I remember. Yeah, he did say that. Let me tell you something. If you have trouble figuring out who to vote for, you ain't black. It's like, nigga, what? What? Imagine an old white man coming on TV or the internet or wherever platform it was, talking to a black man and saying, if you don't know who to vote for, you ain't black. Imagine. You don't need to imagine. It actually happened. Listen, this guy got invited to cookout. Somebody invited Biden to the cookout, and he just thought he had all kinds of black privileges. It's like, yo, chill, dude, chill. Got too carried away. With that one. Like, yo, you invite the dude to the cookout, And this is how he acts. Nah. Somebody come get your mans. Somebody come get your mans. I said and done some things in his time, but they are neck and neck if you ask me. But Trump actually backs up what he says. Trump said some outlandish stuff, no question, but country was running better. Trump was straight up, cut no corners. He kept it raw and real. Cut no corners? Well. I think some of his was it tax what's he getting investigated for? Is it tax? No, he's getting investigated for something. I can't remember what it was, but he's getting investigated for something. Was it the FBI investigating him for? Was it the I don't know what it is. Some documents or something. So I don't know about cutting no corners. Maybe a few corners got snipped. I'm just saying. We'll see what what they find out. But yeah. I'm telling you to vote. Hold on, hold on, so yeah. I mean, the whole thing about if you vote for this person, you're this, and if you vote for that person, you're that. That's stupid. That's always been stupid to me. I mean, unless it's like a party that their whole policy is about hating on certain races, like their whole policy, their whole reason for existence is to hate on black people, for example. Let's say that party, in fact, parties that do exist really, but yeah, that is a bit different. Where you can say, oh yeah, voting for those guys makes you racist. That's a bit different. But if you're just talking about people who have, I don't know, like just maybe dumb ideas or whatever, or they say stupid shit, and yeah, maybe some of the things I do say is kind of, you know, racially questionable at times. But at the end of the day, it's like people have different reasons for the people they vote for, and just because they don't vote for the person you vote for, you know, doesn't mean that, oh, that means you hate all Asian people, you hate women, you hate black people, you hate this, and you hate that, and you hate this, and it just gets stupid when you try to pin a I don't know what you call it, a philosophy, I don't know if that's not even the right word to use, but you try to pin something on somebody over something that they voted for just because it wasn't for the person you voted for. And it just seems to me like, look, vote for who you want to vote for, or don't vote if you don't want to vote, that whatever. But if all you could do is say, well, you're a racist because you voted for that guy, it's like, to me, you're not acting in good faith. I feel like you're not, at least you're not purposely acting in good faith. Because it's more of a way of dismissing rather than actually discussing what's going on. Because if I say, oh, you're just one of those people, then I don't really have to deal with you because I've diminished your humanity at this point. You know what I mean? Like, once I've classed you, it's like the whole thing about labeling. If once I've classed you as one of these types of people, it's a way of me dismissing things that you have to say because you voted for that guy, so nothing you say is important. You know what I mean? So like, I just feel like when people do stuff like that, it's dismissive, it's unnecessary, it doesn't really discuss what is actually going on. Because yeah, if there are bad things that this person has done or said or whatever that are questionable or concerning, and yeah, then talk about those things. But then you also need to be able to talk about the actual reasons why people vote for them, and not just make stuff up or decide that because this guy's a racist that voted for that guy, that means everybody who votes for this guy's a, you know what I mean? It's just silly and dismissive, and it doesn't actually discuss any actual issues of what's happening. But hey, I'm just some Ghanaian in it. Here in the black African voting culture, you're supposed to vote for the Dems period. If you don't, you're basically committed to an acts of tribal treason, lose your black card and your cookout pass. Yeah, and I've heard it's kind of like that from you know, so some of the shows that I've watched and things, and yeah. But it seems like, I feel like when people do that sort of thing, and I'm sure there's reasons for why that exists that I don't maybe fully understand, but even still, I feel like when people do that sort of thing, it effectively cuts off any real analysis of what people are actually saying, because once it becomes this known, or say, you know, this known thing that, you know, you have to vote. If you're black, you vote Democrat. If you don't vote Democrat, that's treason, or akin to treason. You know, once it becomes like this thing like that, then it cuts off any real chance of actually assessing what people are saying. What is the Republican Party actually saying? What are they actually promising? And look, I don't follow politics that closely. I mean, maybe Republicans are bad guys for all I know. I wouldn't know, but you know, I mean, it cuts off any chance of actually looking at what they're saying. If once you've just, again, you dismissed it as this thing, you vote for those guys, you're one of those guys. You're not actually discussing anything, you know, or either that, or you paint this the other part, let's say the Democrats in this case, as this party that can do no wrong. You know, they can do no wrong. It's almost like celebrity culture, where people look at their favorite celebrities as they can do no wrong, and you're not really looking at what's being said, and you're just defending these things on the basis of, well, you got to defend them because of course they're the good guys. When it's like, well, are they really? And also I feel like people need to accept that just because a party has good ideas that might benefit one group of people, that doesn't mean those same ideas are going to benefit another group of people. The reality is that what benefits you might not benefit me. What benefits them might not benefit us. You know, what benefits those guys might not benefit another guys. You know, people's needs are different. And I just feel like this idea that one party has all the answers is clearly not true. You know, it's clearly not true. No one party has all the answers, because one party at the best is going to represent that one ideal. And let's be honest, most parties don't even represent that. They represent their benefactors. They represent the people who finance their campaigns. That's who they're really representing. You know these big corporations or whatever. That's who they're really representing, if you want to get into it. But you know what? Let's put it aside for a moment. You know, based on their policies, they're representing this one ideal and maybe a little bit of another ideal. But ultimately, their policies that might benefit you won't benefit somebody else. And everybody's situation is different. You know, your situation is different from my situation. My situation is different from their situation, and so on. So if you're voting for who you think is best suited for you, right? Cool. You know, if you generally feel they're best suited for you. But understand that just because they're best suited for you doesn't mean they're best suited for somebody else. And somebody else is going to look at that like, well, actually, I feel that's a bad idea because this, and this, and this. And then you have to decide, well, do the pros outweigh the cons? You know, I think everybody has to decide that. Do the pros outweigh the cons? But if you're just dismissing things as, oh, well, you know, they're this and they're that because of this and they're that, nobody's really looking at what's actually being said. You're defending one party based on this idea of obligation, but you're not actually really looking at what are they offering you, what's being said. And I don't necessarily even talk about like the history of a party now, because I know some people talk about, well, the Democrats were this back in the day, and actually the Republicans were this back in the day. It's like, so what? Doesn't matter who they were back in the day. Who are they now? You know, what are they doing now? Because we don't live back in the day. You know, you live now. So whatever sins they did back in the day, whatever good deeds they did back in the day, at this point it's irrelevant. What are they doing now? And if you're not really discussing what they're doing now and just like labeling them as, oh, well, they're the good guys because of this and these are the bad guys because of that, and then you have people going on to even defending stupid shit that these politicians are saying, well, actually what they meant was like, shut the fuck up. You know, like, are you actually listening to what's being said? Are you actually taking in what's being said and discussing these points on the merits of what they're saying, and not just because you feel some kind of obligation based on some stupid ideal that I have to vote for this guy. These have to. It gets dumb and stupid, and yeah. Anyway, it's my impromptu rant over for now. If I'm voting, I vote based on policy, and that's it. I look at what affects my family first, everything else second, indeed. I always going to get racist people, but I generally don't believe most people are racist. I think voting is a personal thing, and use it to pass judgment is stupid to me. Yeah, I mean, unless you're voting for a party that says, yeah, we're going to kill all black people. If some party comes up and says something like that, well, our policy is to kill all black people. And it's like, yeah, maybe don't vote for those guys, right? That'd be a bit of an issue, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I feel like most people, well, I at least I'd hope most people anyway, vote based on who they feel is generally best for them. I'd hope that's the case. I mean, it's hard to tell these days, really. But I'd hope if you are voting, people are voting based on who they genuinely feel is best and not who they feel obliged to vote for. And I don't even always vote, to be honest with you. Like I don't always vote. I have voted in the past. I'm not saying I may, and there's been times where I just didn't even bother. You know, I don't feel no way about it. If I vote, cool. If not, you know, I'm not sure it makes a difference, to be honest with you. I ain't sure it makes a damn bit of difference, but hey, there's always hope. There are other things with it. You hate yourself hating. You want to be white. You love them white folks. You need to vote like your mama. Oh, you mean like things that people are saying? I say, gotcha. Oh, you must want them to be massa. Oh, yeah. See, it's dismissive because, like, and here's the thing: there may very well be people who vote like that. Like, there may very well be some black guy that does hate himself, that, you know, does want to be white and loves the white. There may very well be a black guy that votes for the Republicans because of those reasons. I ain't even saying that's not true, but to dismiss everyone as that is stupid. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not talking to people as individuals and saying, okay, so you're voting for Republican, why are you voting Republican? You know, ask them for the reasons and then talk to them based on those reasons that they give, and don't just be like, oh, no, you're just saying that, but you really want to... Oh, shut up, man. Everybody wants to... Everybody's a psychiatrist all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Everybody's like a psychoanalyst, you know, all of a sudden. Oh, you voted for those guys, you must be one of those people. Shut up. Shut up. There are times when I feel I can get behind the Republicans and they go to an extreme and they lose me. It's the same with the liberals. Those progressives need to go away. As of now, the real Republicans are the ones keeping a number of things in check, along with the conservatives on the Supreme Court. You'd have a much better talking and chilling. You'd have a much better talking and chilling with Trump. Yeah, well, I ain't trying to find that out. he's not on my list of people I want to meet. I mean, if it so happens that one day I'll meet Donald Trump, then, you know, it is what it is, you know. But he's not exactly on my list of people I'm trying to meet. So maybe. Never say never, right? Never say never. I mean, I'll say pretty much most politicians are not on my list of people I'd care to meet. You know, I don't really follow politics like that. So I'll say probably about... In fact, I'll say the only politician I think I'd like to meet would be Barack Obama. Yeah, I feel it's the only politician I think I'd like to meet. You know, he seems like a cool dude. He's like a chill dude. And well, seems. Let me say it again. Let me re-say it. Seems. I don't know if he is or not. I'm saying he seems like a chill dude. But I think apart from that, yeah, I don't care if I meet any politicians. They're maybe they're nice guys, maybe they're not. Maybe they're cool dudes, maybe they're not. I wouldn't care. Like, I would not care to meet any of them. And if I so happen to meet them, then hey, you know, I'll be respectful. That's well, I'll try to be respectful, but. Now, either I don't believe we have people to vote for. A friend of mine once said, he says, this is just stuck with me. He said to me years ago, well, he didn't really say it to me, he said it to a group of us. But anyway, but he said it years ago. He said, voting is like, let me get it right. Voting is like asking which gun you want to be shot with. That's what he said to me years ago. And that's stuck. And I'm like, because a lot of times you hear people say things like, if you don't vote, you can't complain. You know, you hear things like that, or, you know, people died for your right to vote, so you should, you know, that sort of thing. And this guy was like, you know, voting is like asking which gun you want to be shot with. And I was like, when he said that, I was like, yeah, I get it. I mean, like I said, I still vote from time to time, even after hearing that, but I get it. Because it does feel like that, which gun you want to be shot with, you know, like, it does feel like that sometimes. A lot of the time, to be honest. It's like people all racist, so everyone can shut up. I don't discriminate against nobody. To me, you're all equally as worthless. Still, I know there's bull on both sides of political aisles. There's racism on both sides. Of course, Republicans are known to have that in that party, but they're all on the Democrat side too. If I met Liz on UPM. If we met Liz on UPM, can we slap her? Let's pick your poison and choose your fate. You know what? I think somebody already did slap Liz, to be honest. Like, I think so. I don't know. Like, I've seen a few clips of her. She seems like somebody might have already slapped her. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll tell you what though. You'd have to slap her for me. I think if I slapped her, it could be a problem. So I don't need people calling me a sexist or a misogynist or whatever. I don't need that. But if you did it, I think it'd be fine. I think if you did it, it'd be fine. If I did it, it might be a problem. So I'm not trying to get cancelled just yet. I need to get famous first, then I can get cancelled. So yeah, you'd have to slap her twice, I think. I have to vote next election to get her out. I mean, this woman's been in office, what, 2 weeks? 3 weeks? Let's see. She's killed the Queen. And she tanks the economy. Like, ain't going too great so far. Ain't going too great. Choose your destiny. Yeah. Cover for both of us. Yep. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Ugh. Oh. She is the third woman to be Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. The third woman to be Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And all of them have been from the Conservative Party. And none of them were liked very much. I mean, to be honest, most people generally don't like politicians anyway. And certainly, I think a lot of people don't like politicians that are from the Conservative Party. That's kind of a thing. But it seems like there's a particular disdain for the female prime ministers we have. And, I mean, Thatcher, I don't remember too much. I was like an itty-bitty baby when she was in charge. But the other one, what's her name? Theresa May. The one that used to be like a page 3 model or something. Yeah, I remember her. She was, I mean, I think in fairness though, she inherited the other guy's problems. She just didn't necessarily do a good job of what she inherited and perhaps made it worse. And then you got this girl who comes along who again inherited someone else's problems, but it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What is it with women who get to the top jobs? They are horrible. You know, I have a theory on that, actually. I have a theory on that. You know, I might want to keep watch on that new prime minister in your country because I ain't feeling her too much. I don't think too many people are. I have a look at the Lib Dems, actually. Can't vote Labour. They're rubbish now. Lib Dems are that somewhere in the middle. Maybe this is finally their turn. But yeah, I have a theory about that, about women who get to the top. Well, not just women, I guess people, but I'll say in particular women. Oftentimes, like when you look at, if you know, we've had a job and you look at like people who make it to managerial level or higher than managerial level, like, you know, district manager, area manager, you know, those sorts of things. More often than not, they're not very nice people, right? I mean, I'm not saying there's no nice people who make those positions. That there's plenty, but more often than not, you find that people who get into these sort of managerial type positions, supervisor type positions, more often than not, they're not very nice people. And I think there's a correlation between that, because oftentimes, or traditionally speaking, and every company is different, of course, but traditionally speaking, you know, a lot of companies focus on what makes money, right? And they put people second. So if you're the type of person who doesn't care about upsetting your friends, doesn't care about, you know, pissing off the staff, as long as the things get done and you make that money, those are the type of people who often get promoted, because they won't care if you're upset. They won't care if they stop. They just care if you're doing your job, and they'll do what they need to get the job. And when it comes to, like, say, women, in particular, like, especially when it's like you don't always have places where they're willing to promote women for various reasons. And it's different now, to be fair, but certainly going back a while, you wouldn't find too many women in these sort of promotions. So what you might find is that the women who do get those types of promotions tend to mimic a lot of those types of traits of, you know, not being very nice and that sort of thing. But because, you know, that added facts of, you know, now they're a woman, they maybe have to, like, take it to another level to show how dedicated they are and how hard, you know, all that sort of stuff. So when you have a woman who gets promoted, yeah, I'm surprised when they are nice people. You know what I mean? Anytime I say a woman who's been promoted, a big part of me is kind of like, she's gonna be an arsehole. And a lot of times, I mean, because a lot of dudes are arseholes, let's be clear. But I'm saying, like, when we get promoted, it's like, she's probably gonna be like a mega arsehole, because, like, it's taken on that attitude and doubling it to prove that you're better than the next person and that sort of thing. And it all comes out in that way. And, you know, I had one boss that I've had from years ago who was you know, a woman. I say was, well, I probably still is a woman, I'd assume. And yeah, she's, you know, one of the best bosses that I've had, you know, no doubt. Like Rashida, I think her name was. Big up to Rashida. I think it was Rashida. I can't remember her name, but big up to her. But she's legit one of the best bosses I've had. So yeah, again, I ain't trying to say that there's no nice women bosses or anything like that. But I will say that I'm typically more surprised when you come across a nice person, especially if it's a woman, if they're a nice person, because I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's different, but like I say, it's different now. This is from when I was, you know, working in offices and stuff like that, which is like years ago now. I'm sure, like, things are different now. People look at things different now. People have different attitudes now. But I guess when you look at the older generation, a lot of those biases still exist. So yeah, that's my amateur theory on why women in high places tend to be rotten people. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. It's not like I've done any kind of research on this. I'm literally talking out my own ass right now. But I don't know. It makes sense to me. So whether it makes sense to anybody else. I think it was possible it makes me best Boris. Well, this I'm just saying. Sometimes we romanticize the past, but yeah, just saying. It's only been a few weeks. That's what I want to help out the most vulnerable. Yeah. and that's probably why you won't get voted in. You know, nice people don't get very far. Nice people don't get very far. People want to know what makes money. They want to know you can do what needs to be done. They want to hear about. They don't want to hear about, you know, plans to fund homeless shelters. They don't want to hear about that. They don't want to hear about putting more money into communities for after-school projects. They don't want to hear about that. They don't want to hear about that. They want to hear that you're closing down those after-school community centers and then putting that money into the corporations. That's what they want to hear. That's what they want to hear. You had it good with Boris. No, we did not have it good with Boris. That's for sure. That dude, we did not have it good with him, not at all. They say it was the Donald Trump of England. Nah, well, I don't know enough about Donald Trump to say whether Boris Johnson was the Donald Trump of England, but I could say we did not have it good with Boris Johnson. I tell you one good thing he did though. But it was back when he was the mayor of London. He introduced those bicycles that you see. Well, you guys are in London. I don't know if you have them in Hull, but those sort of bicycles that you see around their Pell and City called Boris bikes. But he introduced those, and that was a pretty cool thing. So yeah, credit where credit's due. But yeah, generally overall, yeah, this did not be good with Boris Johnson. I'll say I'm only in my pockets to get the vote. Then help. See, that's a better tactic. That's a better tactic. So what you gotta do? You gotta lie to like the party, like the board members or whatever they call them at the party, and tell them, yeah, we're gonna be greedy. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do all these like bad stuff. Yeah. Then you gotta tell the public, right, that you're gonna do a whole bunch of good stuff. But when you tell the good stuff to the public, you got to go back to the, you know, the party people and be like, oh, I was just lying. I'm just telling them so you can get them to vote for us, right? So that's so like that way the party could be like, yeah, this is our girl. We're gonna put her in charge and she's gonna lead this party. And then the public could be like, yeah, this is our girl. She's gonna run the country in a good way. Then when you get into power, and then be like, yeah, now I'm gonna do some actual good stuff. Here's some money for this community. Here's some money for that community. Here's some funding for this, funding for that. And then the party members be like, hey, but you said you were going to give it. It's like, and the party members be like, yeah, you said you're going to give this money to all our corporations. And you could be like, I had my fingers crossed. But yeah. At the start was a good thing. No, actually no, to be fair, yeah, the furlough was a good thing. The furlough was a good thing. Oh, sorry, itchy nose. What sucks though is how all the taxes went up afterwards. They're like, really? Sons of bitches. Over here now, a lot of people are saying the aim is Trump and want him back in office. Well, there's a possibility he might be. From what I understand, he could run again in the next election. So, do enough people want him back to vote him back in? Guess that waits to be seen. Taxes and yeah, the parties as well. Yep, let 10 people stay at home while he's pieing it up. Allowing his staff to bully people, breaking all kinds of rules. Yeah, he's a very naughty boy. Cheese and wine, and I wasn't invited. Just rude. Would you want to be invited? Well, actually, no, to be fair, I think I would want to be invited. I wouldn't go, but I would at least want to be invited. It'd be nice. It's nice to get invited to things that you don't intend on going to, I think. You know what I mean? Like, you know, somebody just invites you to a party and they know that you're going to say no. You know that you're going to say no, but it's just the fact that they invited you anyway is a nice thing. You know, that's a nice thing. I like to be invited, even though I don't have any intention of going. I just like to be invited. And I like cheese. I don't drink wine, but I like cheese. There we go. I have to sit in the corner by myself and eat cheese. Oh. So last year, European leader Ursula von der Leyen wanted to have the jab mandated across the whole European continent. I didn't know that, but okay. I don't even know who that is. Ursula von der Leyen? I don't even know who that is. But yeah, it's not required. What's the word? Yeah, it's not mandated. Is that? Yeah, mandated. Yeah, required, mandated. Yeah, it's not mandated in the UK. It's encouraged, but it's not mandated. Like, you can not have it if you don't want to. It can vary though. Like, if you, for example, if you want to go abroad to another country, depending on where you're going to, that country might require it. But yeah, as far as just being in England, in the UK goes, yeah, you don't have to have it if you don't want to, but it is encouraged that you do. But it wasn't a cheap cheese either, but it was some nice cheese. Oh, that's a good point actually, because yeah, they'll get like the real good like cheese, not like the cheap supermarket stuff. They'll probably get like the type of cheese that those fancy cheesemakers make. You know, you eat it with like one of those like fancy forks as well. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe I will go to that party actually, just for the fancy cheese. I think she's in Germany. Ashe. But yeah, I mean, it's not mandated, not in the UK at least anyway. But yeah, if you are traveling, then depending on where you're going to, they might require it. I actually got a 4th jab recently, just last week. Yeah, last week. Last week. Got a 4th, the autumn jab. So I'm all vaxxed up. Yeah, I think if Liz Truss invites me to the next cheese and wine party, then I might have to ask you to not slap her. You know, at least not for me. You can still slap her for yourself if you want to. I can't say that, but I'll say you know, if I get invited to a party, I have to be like, you know, Sam, sorry, but I can't. You know, you can only slap her once for yourself if you want to, but not for me. I'm taking my slap back. But only if I get invited, and only if they have the good cheese. You know, if I go to like their party and it's like, you know, stuff from Morrison's or whatever, it's like nah. Let's have the good cheese, the real good cheese. Anyway, yeah. Well, it depends. If I get invited, if I get a +1, do I? Oof. If I get a +1, do I take Sam or do I take somebody else? In parts of Germany, there were checkpoint guards at trains, check for people's vaccination cards, and it has flashes on trains to scan for the virus and passengers. Any line It's like the heat thing and the temperature stuff, I guess. Don't even have to talk to me. You can leave me alone with the cheese. Yeah, you in your corner, you in your corner. Yeah, but it has to be the good cheese though. I think if we go to the if you get invited to that party and it's anything less than like the best cheese, everybody's getting slapped. You know what I mean? Everybody has to get slapped. I'm just saying. I might even have to slap myself, quite frankly. Like if you get invited to a party and they don't give you the good cheese, I might have to slap it myself. I might be like, Sam, I got this one. Backhand, you know what I mean? 5 fingers to the face. I'm just saying. The only time it's good to hit a woman if they don't give you good cheese. Like that's the bit that's gonna get clipped out. Never hit a woman unless she doesn't give you good cheese, and then it's okay. Then it's okay. If she gives you crappy cheese, you're allowed to slap her. What? Alright, it is 4 minutes past 12 in the PM in the AM rather. I think I need to start winding now before I say something that really bad. I've already advocated slapping people over cheese, slapping women over cheese. So yeah, maybe I should start winding down before I start saying stuff. I might want to run for Prime Minister one day. Someone's gonna dig up this video and be like, "Well, this is what you said. This is what you said." Then I have to like issue an apology and all that kind of stuff. Like, damn it. As a woman, I give you consent to that. Okay, cool. I think I'm alright then. If I got consent to slap women over cheese, then good. Thank you. Appreciate that. When I run for Prime Minister, I could refer back to this. So that's good. Appreciate that. In Sweden, they were persuading people to have a microchip implanted in the hands to ensure vaccination status and keep track of them. They can have that ish. Yeah, that's a bit much actually. I ain't need nothing implanted in me. I ain't need no microchip. I don't need that. For chicken dip, need some of that. You know what? I'm trying to think now, but I'm not sure if I've had buffalo wings. I'm not sure I have. I feel like if I had, I'd remember. And the fact that I'm not sure that I've had means I probably haven't. I should do something about that. But guys, you have been awesome as always. I appreciate you and all that you do. Thank you for keeping me company. Thank you for keeping it lively. Next Monday, movie nights. I've decided we're gonna go with Blackula, because it's Black History Month. Yeah, right. So we gotta go with Blackula. We gotta celebrate Black History Month and look at a movie with black people that was made in the past. Probably one of the I mean, I've seen the film. I've seen it before. It's not what you'd call a good film, right? I think it's a fun film. It's a fun film to watch. I think we could have a lot of fun watching it. So yeah. It's on Amazon. It's one of the ones that you have to pay for. So you don't have to pay for. You have to buy it if you don't want to. I appreciate that. And I mean, I don't mind buying it because I'm stupid like that. But yeah, if you'd rather not, cool. But yeah, I think we'll still have some fun with that one. So yeah, next week, Blackula, celebrating Black History Month on movie night. One of the cheesiest. If you've not seen it, it's a treat. Put it that way. If you've not seen it, it's a real treat. So even if you don't buy it for next week, at some point I would recommend watching it. Even if you can't do it by next week, at some point I do recommend seeing that film. It's a treat. It's a treat. Saw the recipe for it from Candace Owens. Okay. How to tell when you're poor by cathedral cheese or well, I mean, that's as good. That's as good money management, really. You know, as good as a vampire in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? From what, to be fair, I've both those movies I've seen, but both of them I've not watched for a long time, so I'm sure I've forgotten a lot about both those films as well. But based on my memory right now, yeah, Vampire in Brooklyn probably is a better film, but yeah, I think Blackula still it's a treat. It's a treat. So yeah. But yeah, so that's for next week, and hopefully be streaming again on Friday, playing some games on Friday evening, and maybe try and post a video if I can during the week, or maybe drop a live stream from the car if I get some time as well. But yeah, that's gonna be all for now. So guys, until whenever, well, get it straight. Until whenever, if ever, peace.